afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to this Fiberific live craft and chat. I am feeling a lot better. I'm not 100%, but heaps better. Last week was a bit of a maybe I shouldn't have streamed. Maybe I should have just, stuck it out another week. But no, I decided to come and chat and hang out. I missed you guys. This week I'm feeling heaps and heaps better. So, fingers crossed I stay feeling good all the way through the stream. It has been a massive, massive day in the world. So many things going on. Congratulations to our American viewers on inaugurating your, I want to say 46th president. I'm not good at keeping track of those sorts of things, but I just want to, congratulate you on having that happen. From what I saw, it went off without a hitch. So that looked pretty good to me. I just watched bits in the news. I know some of you actually, even in Australia, got up early to watch the whole inauguration. I think that's awesome. I wanted to talk to you guys about project planning and losing your Crojo or your crafting mojo. Now, those of you that follow my socials have noticed that A, not being that active, and B, when I have posted something the last little whiles over on the Fiberific Instagram page, it's not been yarn crafting. So I was having a look through it and thought, wow, I actually posted a lot more sewing than I thought I did. So I'm gonna rectify that. I'm still gonna continue to post all the different crafts that I do. I'm not gonna stop being me. This is my Instagram page, and you guys know that I am totally a squirrel. And it's just like, oh, shiny thing, I should do the shiny thing. But I also need it to be a little heavier in the yarn craft, because that's what we're here for, is yarn craft. So I have got pinned, because it's a new thing I can do and I thought I'd try it, my Instagram handle up on the top. It's the Fiberific Instagram page. There is a behind the scenes for Chantel.hills as well. But if you can go and open your Instagram and find the Fiberific page. If you don't already follow me on Instagram, if you could please follow me, that would be awesome. And if you do follow me, if you could go and like a photo or two, because I have been slack, it's my own doing. Instagram is not being, it's like everything else. If you don't use it, you lose it. And I wasn't using it. So if you guys could help me kickstart it, I'd really appreciate that. Just want to have a quick look in the chat here. Kathy Breyer was the first one in the chat. Hey Kathy, you jumped in nice and early. Got Vampire, good morning. Good morning to everybody. Our mods today are, whoa, we have one mod today. Sally, you got a big job today, honey. So hopefully, you go okay with that. Sally is hanging out in her bed with a cuppa, trying Fiberific on the big screen. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that. Actually, I know exactly how I feel about it. It stresses me out. It stresses me out. I've got to scroll past and not think about it. Sally's reminding everybody to hit that thumbs up. Thank you, Sally. That is awesome. I am wearing purple today. I'm wearing my Always Be Creating shirt that I picked up from another YouTuber's merch store who I love, Roberto Blake. He has the most amazing t-shirts and things. And it's just they sing to me, because it's about creativity. So I thought, I'm trying to get my brain back into a creative mindset. Yesterday I wore my Practicing Stitchcraft shirt. Today I've got my Always Be Creating on. For those of you that are concerned, I'm not trying to force myself back into a crafty sort of thing. What it is there's things I really want to do. I really want to work on things, but because I've been so sick, I've got a bit of a brain fog. And so I'm just trying to get my way through the brain fog. Oh, it's only 38-inch screen. That's so much better. So much better. Kim is in the chat today. Sorry I'm late. I've been playing Pattern Piece Tetris. Oh, I'll be playing that later. So those of you that know, friend of Fiberific, Little Moo Designs, who makes beautiful, beautiful sewing design patterns, is having a sew along starting Friday. I'm jumping in. I've got my Matilda stuff ready to go, and I'm going to have a go. It probably won't be as nice as other people's because me and sewing aren't the greatest of friends, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. Oh, Jackie's also here. So we've got some good. I'm just getting organized. That is awesome. So one of the things that we're going to talk about is trying to get your Crojo back. Now, Crojo, technically, I think it's short for Crochet Mojo, but I think of it as Crafting Mojo because I don't, you know, I knit and I crochet and I've lost them all. Like anything yarn craft related, I'm really, and you know what? I've done a lot of television watching. And if you know me just sitting and watching television, that doesn't happen. There's, okay. Now, to address the elephant in the room, my air conditioner sort of broke out here in the shack, and the people, you know, Coates who own the shack, they sent out a guy to swap it out and replace it. The new one is so noisy. It's dead silent for ages, and then all of a sudden it'll just kick in and be like, rah! So hopefully you can't hear it, but it's really loud for me. It's really loud. I would be shocked if you can't hear it, honestly. Bob says, I hearted your crochet squares on Instagram last night. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. So yeah, so I'm not trying to force well, I suppose I am trying to force my way back in. I'm trying to re-energize, I don't know what I'm trying to do, but I just have been feeling flat, and because I've been sick a lot, and a lot of it's brain fog sick, it's really messing with me, and I don't like it. Hey, we've got a first timer in here. Welcome to the chat, Pam. I hope you enjoy it. Hey, Jen Deal. Freaky, did you find your crochet? Freaky, I am on a path to finding my crochet. So I realized I kind of lose my Crojo every now and again. It kind of happens. And usually it's around this time of the year. I was having a little scrub through some things and I'm like, hang on a second. Wasn't it this time last year? I was doing pretty much the exact same thing. And what I think it is A, it's summer here and it is stinking hot. I would not be able to stream without this quite loud air conditioner running. So I really need it to be a bit cooler. Although in saying that, for a Queensland summer, it's not been, you know, as bad as it has been in the past. So part of it, I think, is because it's summer, which is it's a natural, you know, calm it down, do something else. And I do normally sew more during January, which, oh, I'm so relieved you guys don't hear the air conditioner. Oh, I was so worried. Yeah, it's very loud. It's very loud here. It may send me insane anyway. But yeah, so with the heat and everything, it's like, oh, maybe it's just the heat, because it does seem to be at this time every year. And the other thing is, it's normally a really massive lead up to, you know, Christmas, and then it's like I do a business slowdown or a close down over Christmas and January so I can have some family time before my daughter goes back to school. She starts year 11 next week. I'm so terrified. And yeah, it's just one of these things that it's just like, I think it's normal-ish, but I haven't been struggling a bit harder than usual to get out of the funk. So I did what I usually do, which is, if you do follow me on Instagram, which I do have pinned, you will see that I've done my stock standard. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drop us into our double camera. I do have my squares just here that I made. There we go. So these are the squares that I made. You know, I tend to, when I've lost my Crojo, I tend to pull out cotton, and I tend to pull out a stitch dictionary. Now, I went with the Crochet Every Way stitch dictionary. I actually pulled out 3, and I flipped and flipped and flipped and flipped and flipped and was totally uninspired. And then I flipped open this one, which you guys, there's a total review on this book over on the channel. And so I flipped open this book, and there were just so many things that I just loved. And it was a tough choice which one to start. So I'm just flipping fast because, you know, it's someone else's book and I don't want to get pinged for copyright. So what I'm going to do is I've got Control V. There you go. If you want to have a look at the book, there is an affiliate link for it right there. It's totally organized today. Unlike usual, like, can someone please find me a link? Don't ask for any others, it's the only one I prepared. So I pulled out the Dora book and I did the, this is the triples. So it's front post and back post, and I just tossed on a little border just because I wanted it an alternate color. I left the balls inside, which is dumb, but I'm using, I want to say FINCH Fiddlesticks cotton. Does anyone remember what the Fiddlesticks cotton is called? I think it's FINCH. I really should have checked that out, shouldn't I? So I do like using cotton. I quite often use Bendigo Woolen Mills cotton, but this is what I had in my little stack of treasures in colors that sort of sung to me. And then this one was called Petals. Now, I don't know how this one's going to go as a face washer, as well as this one's going to be fantastic. This one may have some little open spots. I think because it's cotton, it's going to bloom a little, so I think it's going to fill in some of the little gaps. But what I do is I make little things out of cotton that I can use as face washes, or I can gift. I'd probably gift that one to like my mom or something like that, but I would keep this one because I'm not 100% certain it's going to work. And I always do them in cotton because I love cotton personally. And so I do my little, you know, Crojo face washes in cotton. It was a little hard on my hand, to be honest. I will probably be doing a review on FINCH cotton at some stage. Lovely stitch definition. I'm very happy with the stitch definition for a cotton. But yeah, it was, I would say, I'm gonna say something controversial. Are you ready? It was a little splitty. Now I know some people believe the splitting doesn't come from the yarn, it comes from the hook. I was using a crochet hook. Narrowed that right down, didn't I? I was using a Clover or More 4mm. Don't normally have a problem with the Amore splitting yarn, but I'll definitely try it out with some other hooks to see how it goes. I'm going to be doing a Tunisian one, so I'm going to be trying out the Chaogu Tunisians with it. Let me have a look here. Shintamani got the ebook version of that. It's great. I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything, honestly. It doesn't look like the TV's lasting, like it keeps freezing and waiting to load. Oh no, it mustn't have a good connection to your internet. Sorry, Sally. Knitspin Girl says face washes are my go-to projects when I lose my knit joe. Light a fire under it and thaw it out. Yeah, it's a bit like that. So yeah, so this is what I'm going to keep walking. Spanish Chick says you should get the Jan Eaton block book, which I have, and each time you lose your crojo, make a block from it starting the first pattern and through to the end. That's actually a really good idea because then you don't even have to think about it. It's just like I'm on to the next one. But that's another great book to have in your collection, is that Jan Eaton block book. So yeah, they're the same size, so the end you should have more than enough for a crojo blanket. That's actually an excellent idea, Spanish Chick. Not that I'm surprised you have excellent ideas, because I know you do. Talia, did you miss anything? Let me have a look here. About 15 minutes of me blathering about stuff. So yeah, so this is what I do. So if you guys have, like, let me know in the chat, what do you do to get through your crafting mojo-less time? So your crojo's gone. Whether it's knitting or crocheting or whatever craft that you're doing, it doesn't even have to be yarn craft related. It just needs to be like something that you're passionate about, that every now and again the passion wanes and you want it to come back. So what do you do to go bring it back? Kim says pattern piece Tetris, not a good idea. You have mentioned no such thing as Splitty Yarn. I don't understand that. My tools are awesome, so how can it be my tools? Kelly, there are different people who have different feels on the whole Splitty Yarn thing. And I personally think they're Splitty Yarn because as a spinner, I understand twist. And if you've got not enough twist in something, it does open it up, which makes it easy to catch and to hook. And if it has lots and lots of twist, the chances of it splitting is really, really low. But lower twist items give a nice softer drapier look, and higher twist items tend to have more durability and things like that. But there's different, I don't want to go too far down the rabbit hole, but there are different crochet channels who talk about there's no such thing as splitty yarns. You could probably Google it on YouTube. I can't think. There's a couple of people who have said it. I don't agree. I think there are splitty yarns, so, you know, we'll see. We'll start a splitty versus non-splitty war. You ready? Wah! Hubby's fit into that. Passion's waned. I mean, I actually don't want you to write how you dealt with that in the chat, actually, now that I'm reading that. Spanichick says, now I can't decide which way to cut because there's so many options. When I saw last night, Kim sent a photo and she laid out some pattern pieces on the fabric panel, and I had not considered doing it any other way than the designer had mentioned. And now I'm just like, I could do it however I want, nearly. Freaky says, I just stop what I'm doing and start another craft, clay, paint, or play games until it's run the course. Yeah, that's usually what I try to do as well, Freaky, but I've realized I've been doing it for a few months now and I'm not so happy with it. I've got some chibis here. These squares are technically not finished because I have not woven in their ends. So let's weave in their ends. I couldn't find my yellow chibis, so I've just had to get my green ones. I like the green chibis, but I do prefer the bent tip of the yellow ones. Morning all, and yes, splitty yarns. Yeah, like, I mean, I have things where the tools I'm using have never been an issue before, and then they come across a yarn and it splits a lot. This didn't split a lot. It was just every now and again. And you know what? It could totally have just been me because my brain's not in it. And, you know, and I'm having a hard time with it. So it could totally have just been me. But I do believe there are splittier yarns. If they've got a bit of a softer, I've pulled that pretty tight. What did I do there? Geez, I'm a numpty. There we go. Yeah, but it's one of those things. I should probably put my glasses on my face, shouldn't I? It would help. Yes, but we all know that Kim doesn't follow instructions that well. I mean, I can't deny that. Sorry, Kimmy. I wish I could jump to your defense in that one, but it's kind of known now, isn't it? That it's just like, there's the pattern and this is what Kim made. Oh, am I the only one who hit the back to school sales and bought a whole pile of their little cheapy dollar scissors for cutting yarn ends? Nearly stabbed myself in the face. I've got some new green ones now. I normally try and get like 5 or 6 pairs because they're cheap. They don't last for ages. But I can only get 2 pairs because I only went yesterday and the kids are nearly back to school. Let me see. Tali says, I don't force myself to craft. I'll give it a try, but if it doesn't work, then I'll read or watch TV or just go to bed. Very thrilling. Yeah, I've been doing that. I've been watching a lot of TV. Like the other day, I was sitting there and realized, because I was sick as well, so, you know, I try to give myself a little grace. But I watched like the first 6 episodes of Bridgerton. Just no craft, just sat there watching TV. And I don't do that. I don't just sit and watch TV. I'm normally like got 11 things going. I'm probably on social media. I'm doing all something, but no. Didn't even have, my phone was in the bedroom. I didn't even have it near me, which is weird. It didn't feel good about it. Kelly says, how I deal with the loss of Crojo is I update my project photos and update my Ravelry stuff. Sometimes add more of my stashed Ravelry, but can't do it in front of the TV. Okay. Lynn apparently found 15 pairs of scissors when she cleaned up her craft room. Look, I'm sure there's probably a few pairs around here as well. I know I've thrown a few pairs out because it's like, because I have a couple of very expensive pairs, like my fabric scissors, some nice embroidery scissors, things like that. But for general end trimming, I don't need those. And so I just get like the cheapy. And, you know, when they start getting a bit dull, I just bin them. I'm just not going to deal with it. So, that's sort of that. I'll say this batch seems to be a little blunter than the previous batch. The previous batch are really on the money, and I mean, I'm glad I bought a ton of them now. This one's got tons of ends because I changed my mind with the border. I did a big shell border and I was just like, nope, too much. It's too big. I crushed my thumb in a knitting machine, so just watching YouTube. Oh my gosh, Kerry, how did you manage that? Wow, that's insane. Like, I've got knitting machines as well. I've got a couple of, like, I've got a big bulky and about 3 or 4 standard beds. I could probably rehome a couple of them, honestly. I haven't used them much lately. I only really need 1 standard bed and 1 bulky. But I can only imagine how much that would have hurt. Dull scissors equals paper scissors. I've got paper scissors. You know, they hang out in other parts of the house. Tally says, same here. If I'm watching TV, I usually have a project or 2 with me and my phone. I mean, it's to the point where I was sort of sitting there watching TV, and my husband came out and sat with me, and he was just like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, you're normally like queen of the multitask. You normally are like working on something. You've normally got yarn out. You're normally doing something." He goes, "I see you brought a project bag to the couch, but that's it." And I was just like, "Oh, I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it." And he was like, "Okay." And he would walk past and glance at me like there was seriously something wrong with this picture. So I was just like, "Oh gosh, now I'm stressing him out too." Talia says, "I still use my scissors from high school for ends." Oh, that's awesome, Talia. Kara says, "Because I'm an idiot on my brother knitting machine, but learning is a pain." Oh, it is one of those things we all have to learn, and the lesson you learn is keep your fingers out of wherever you had your fingers. I'm sure that's a big lesson. So I've got my bulky is a brother, I think, and my favorite standard bed is an Empasal. So okay, now the other thing I wanted to talk to you all about today was project planning. Okay, so project planning is something I'm not the greatest with. Like, there's some people here like nodding like, yeah, I know. I'm that person who goes, I'm going to make a blanket with this yarn and not check meterage and not check anything, get halfway through a blanket and realize, I need more of this, and then realize the yarn I was using was discontinued 10 years ago and no one's got any. So, you know, and so one of the blankets that I got onto Ravelry, and I went through like a whole pile of stashes, because you can look at what people have stashed, and there was a lady who had the color I needed, and I was just like, but she had not for sale marked. So I just wrote this really nice email. Look, I know that you're not planning to sell this yarn, but I'm in the middle of this blanket and I've just realized I've totally snafu'd it up and I've nowhere near enough yarn. And she replied back with, "Oh, no worries at all. I don't put anything marked as for sale, you know." And she sold it to me and shipped it, and it was fantastic, and I finished my blanket. But it was just like, oh my God, I'm such a numpty. And then at the time, another blanket had run out. I needed yarn from Bendigo, and luckily they still had that color, but that was so far behind in their production, and there was just so many orders going in through like during COVID lockdown that getting it was a nightmare. It was just like, oh. So I want to talk about planning your projects, because I'll tell you something. I know it's very difficult to believe, but I plan my sewing projects. I sit down, I go through the pattern, I make sure I have everything I need before I cut anything. And I really should do the same thing for my crafting, my other crafts. I really should sit down, go through the pattern, which they all recommend, please read the whole pattern before you get started. Sit down, go through the whole pattern, and then get started. So I don't want to lose my spontaneity of, oh look, that looks amazing, I want to make that thing. I definitely don't want to lose that, because that's a really important thing to keep as a creative, which is like your passion to be inspired. I don't want to go, oh, I want to make that awesome, but I'm going to make this, this, and this first, so we can go on the bottom of the cube, because the chances are I'm going to get there and be all like, yeah, I don't want to make that now. I wanted to make it then when I was going to use it, but now I'm like, nah. And so I don't want to lose that, but I also don't want another instance of yarn hunting where I'm like totally halfway through a project. Now, if I want a particular yarn and I want to go yarn hunting for it, that's fine. I just don't want it to be like halfway through it and trying to match color lot numbers, and because that's a nightmare. Like, can you honestly tell me that you've all had good experiences with having multiple balls of yarn with varying colored dye lots? I've never had an experience where the dye lot number didn't matter. Now, I'm even talking like there's some companies that have no dye lots. If you go back in 6 months and buy that same yarn and you stitch it directly on top of your last yarn, there's gonna be a difference. There has to be a difference. There's no physical way that it could be absolutely perfect every time. I just like, I don't know. I'll keep weaving in ends. How many more have I got to go? 1. Yay. Jen says, I plan everything. Jen, you're a champion. I might need to talk to you. So have you all seen the planner diaries and things like that that you can buy, or the free downloadables? I've got an amazing spreadsheet that I'm using for some sewing planning, but I'm just thinking of adapting that for some like yarn craft planning as well, to make sure I have all the things that I need for the project I want to make. Lindsay says, I plan my projects so well, I have all the yarn and pattern requirements I need for like 5 years worth of projects. I've got probably enough yarn and patterns that don't match each other that I could use for 5 years worth of projects. Nispin Girl says, I tend to buy by the kilo so I don't run out. So if you ask me how much yarn you need to knit a hat, I'm like, maybe 100, 150 grams, but then I buy a kilo just to be sure. Oh, wow. Oh. Talia says, I've scrolled through my Ravelry queue during a crochet loss and been like, why did I even want to make any of this? Oh, Talia, I did a massive purge of my crochet Ravelry queue last year because of the exact same thought, like, what was I thinking? And it's not that the things are bad. It's just as life goes on, our tastes change. Our color tastes change. Our textural tastes change. Everything changes. And it's important to remember that. So not to plan too far ahead, miss 5 years with your projects. Spanish Chick says, my last crochet blanket, I started with no idea how I was going to finish it. So no idea how much yarn I needed. And that's a different thing. Like, you were technically in a designer phase on that one. And that I can understand. That's a bit different. Jackie says, easy fix by sweater quantities of everything. I think that's Knit Spin Girl's reaction as well. I find it odd that not all blacks are the same, and whites too. So many different shades and gradients to them. Yeah, oh, absolutely. Blacks are one of these colors that, because it's technically not a color, it's a tint, and it's created by like a huge like saturation of a particular color. So some of them are blue blacks, some of them are green blacks, some of them are purple blacks. The easy, like as a dyer, it happens all the time. I buy dye and I've got 3 different blacks that if I make them half strengths, I get 3 different types of gray that don't work together. Their color temperatures are off. So unless you get them to that inky black, not the same, not the same. Jen says, I'm on my second queen with yarn on the same color, different dye lots. Okay, how is that working? Spanish Chick just says, buy all blanket quantities. I mean, that's a way to go. That's a way to go. Lindsay says also I can plug in kits and MLCs and excellent planners. If you can get everything all together, then it is a win. And that's one of the advantages of MLC, is that it was everything in the box except for your tools. Tali says, I have learned since that I shouldn't make decisions while in that mind frame. Yeah, I'm trying really hard not to make any big decisions right now, but some big decisions are being made anyway. Whoops! More tea time. Everybody, I've got my T2 Tealicious tea. Totally not a sponsor, Instagram. Instagram keeps sending me a message about one of my posts saying, if this is a sponsorship, you need to declare it. And I'm like, it's not a sponsor. It's not a sponsor. It's a bit hot. One of these things is not like the other. Shoes make a huge difference. They really do. They really do. Talia says, I was making Sophie's universe in white, like white, and could not for the life of me find thread that matched what I'd been using. And that's the thing, like, you've really got to be prepared with your projects. You wish it was sponsored. I do wish it was sponsored. There are sponsorships I wish I could have. I've just recently joined a new networking app called Clubhouse. And there was a discussion over sponsorship deals in that. And yeah, it was interesting listening to different people's take on sponsorship deals. A big decision for me, I should check the mail today or wake up. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Freaky, but I too have had those days where I'm sitting on the couch and my big decision was, should I have a cup of coffee or not? It's that not a sandwich. I mean, it is, but this app is not a sandwich. It's an iOS only app. Oh, I just kicked that. Sorry, everybody. Oh, I swung it. Hang on. No. There we go. There we go. Sorry. Note to self, don't move your feet because you've got something right underneath it. Rebecca says, I need to go through my Ravelry list and take off a bunch of ideas of patterns. Yeah. Chintami says, I made a Facebook page for my yarn adventures and Facebook and Insta just want me to promote it so that I can sell stuff. I just made it for fun. Look, Facebook and Instagram, they're a business, and how they make their money is by people paying to promote and things like that. So they are always trying to do that. The number of, like, I get messages left, right, and center, like, you should pay to promote this. And I'm like, nah, did you read that post? There's no way I'm going to pay to promote that. It's got a typo even. But yes, Kelly says, I never buy enough yarn, so now I always add an extra ball or two, but still sometimes it happens. How many extra balls do other people buy? That's an excellent question, Kelly. So unless you're knit spin girls, or Jackie, who are buying, you know, blanket quantities of yarn, when you're yarn shopping, how many additional balls do you buy for safety or for backup? They just want to make money off you. That's right, Jackie, they do. They do. Freaky Geek says that if he has enough funds, he'll buy 2 to 4 balls extra, depending on the price and the yardage. Kerry says, I was angry with my 25-year-old son, speaking of times when it's best not to make decisions, and so I made the decision to buy my first home. I mean, are you still there? Have you still got the house? Because it's maybe not a bad decision, but, you know. They'll be sadly disappointed in me. The Chintami is saying about Facebook. I get that. They're sadly disappointed in me too. Vampire says, I tally the amount that I need and then I add 4 balls. And Holly Alderson says, I buy at least 1 or 2 more depending on the project. Knitspin Girls just says, all the yarn! Oh, Chintami says, most of my yarn I have 1 or 2 balls only. So, and that's what, Chintami, I'm in the same boat as you. I'll just have some tea. Hang on. I meant to bring out the cotton and I was going to make another thing, but I didn't bring it, and I didn't bring the hook. So I don't really know what to do. What should I do to keep my hands busy during this live stream today, my friends? What do you suggest? I could always run in and grab it. It's just on the coffee table. So I just want to do something simple and not difficult, but just I've got enough yarn in each ball probably to make up another one. But I wouldn't use the book because I don't want, you know, to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble, copyright trouble. There we go. Yeah, so what I was saying is I agree with Chintami. I'll go to places and I'll be at yarn stores or at craft shows or something. I'm like, ooh, that's sweet. And I'll buy 1 or 2 skeins or balls. I don't pre-plan the fact that I'm going to need at least 3 for anything. And so I'm constantly in this problem of, I've got this pretty yarn and I don't know what to make with it. That's where Adobe Designs patterns come in really handy. She does some amazing blur projects. So she has blur shawl and a blur sweater. And it's designed to use multiple skeins of different colors up. So, I mean, and I think that's a clever, like such a clever thing to do. Can somebody throw a link into Adobe Designs on Ravelry? Her patterns are beautiful, and also she just thinks about stuff because she too has the same stash problems we have. Just thinks about ways to use up, like if we've got little balls of hand-dyed yarn, we don't get rid of them because so loud, because hand-dyed yarn is expensive, and you've got 10 grams left. That's 1/10 of the ball. You don't want to throw it away. So she comes up with these pattern ideas that'll use like 10 grams of this color and 20 of that color, and or you can just use minis and things like this. So she makes it so you can use up your stash or you can buy yarn. Jackie says that's the challenge with hand-dyed indie stuff. Very expensive to get more than 1 skein of any color. Yeah, I agree. It depends on if I'm buying a single color for a project or multiple colors that will work together. I would generally aim for 10 to 12 in total if I'm going to do a blanket. Yep, I get that. One day I'll figure out how to work out how much yarn I have and will need to make what's in my head. That's not today, from Gamer Widows. I know those feels. It's definitely not today. It's definitely not today. Sally says, so I bought 2 skeins of yarn on Tuesday with the mind to make a knitted shawl, but now look at the pattern. I'm not even sure I'm up to making it. Oh, you could do it. You can totally do it. Find Your Fade is a great way to mix yarns together. Yeah, that's the Find Your Fades are knitting and 80 days are crochet. So it's good to have both on hand just in case, because not everybody's a knitter or a crocheter. Tali says that's Battenberg blanket amount. Yeah, like 2.5 grams is Battenberg blanket amount. Do you know how I know that? Because I weigh them on my trusty scales. And no, 3 grams is Battenberg blanket. 2.5 grams is what I need for the main color, like for the contrast color for an Intrepid square. Tali says I'm planning a Fiberific Find Your Fade. Is that if I ever get your order to you, Talia? Yeah, it's coming. Sally, you can do it. Chantal will help. They are not those kinds of scales. They've got another name that my brain won't give me. There's another name for them. Precision scales. They're precision scales. Oh dear. Jackie says a lot of Stephen West patterns use a mix of all sorts of yarns and colours. If you catch one of his webinars on using colours, some great ideas and how to combine all those one-offs. He has a really interesting take on colour. Not my favorite. I'm definitely more of a toned down person. I love his eye for color, and I love that he's so bold. But I'm not that bold, and I love his designs, and I think I would like to mute the colors down a little to make them more me. Yeah. Game Winner says my Mitre Square blanket came out because of leftover sock yarn. Too much to throw away, but not enough for anything substantial. Your blanket is enormous, Gamer Widow. It's like an Australian king size. It's probably an American super king. I was watching a YouTube video because my brain's not where it should be and I'm just like killing time. I can't think clearly, so I'm not doing anything dangerous. So like YouTube and television are pretty safe. And I watched this video on the difference between bed sizes in the UK and the USA. And I don't even know why I watched it, but it was really interesting. And I watched the whole video and I clicked the thumbs up. Because I need precision. Yes. When I'm weighing dye and beads and little bits of yarn, Kimmy. Rebecca says, I still have a couple of kits from a few years ago that I need to knit up. Absolutely. Jackie says, yeah, his techniques can be used on more toned down. He won't care. No, he won't. He's just so happy that people make his things and are inspired by them. Knitspin Girl says it's 5 grams for a cozy memory square. Isn't it weird that we all know this stuff, right? We all know how many grams we need for a different square. 4 years off and on. Lockdown is the reason it got finished. Yes, I finished blankets because of lockdown as well. Okay, I'm going to throw the Be Right Back screen up. I'm going to go and get my yarn and hook that I should have brought out when I brought out my tea, but I forgot. All right, guys, so if anybody new jumps in, let them know I'm coming back. I'm coming back, all right? So bear with. I'm back. See, it didn't take long. It didn't take long. And it is FINCH. There we go. I did remember correctly. Fiddlesticks FINCH. So I've still got a goodly amount left in each ball after making these. I bought these. Where was I when I bought these? Mean Mothers in Beanley, my local yarn. And yeah. Jackie, are you working on the secret design that was supposed to be a secret? Sally just stepped on her cat. Oh no, he's going to bite you now. He's going to bite you. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's so going to bite you. So... I don't know what square I'm gonna make. I'm just gonna... I might make a granny square, but a filled in one, and just change colours when I feel like it. How does that sound? Or make one in pink and one in grey. Or should I alternate the colours? What do you think? Because that way I don't need to look for a pattern and anything like that. If you didn't make noise, how did you know that you are stepping on? What am I working on? I am just making anything, really, just to sort of get my Crojo back. So I'm just working on little win projects. And because I'm making them in cotton, I can use them as face washes. So it's not even, did I just do one there? I did. So it's not even, it's no biggie. It's no biggie. All right. So am I changing colors at the end of each round, or am I just doing it and then maybe sticking a, you know, doing what I've done here and just get to the end and then maybe put a little border on it? Because I'm getting up to the pointy end of where I need to change colors if I'm going to change colors. So speaking of the retreat, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are still a couple of spaces left. I've got to get a form out to somebody, so their space is held. So if you're waiting on a form from me, know that I haven't forgotten, and I'm going to send that out today. So yeah, that's coming. But if you want to come on our Fiberific retreat, it's going to be over the Anzac Day long weekend, but just a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so that you can be back for work on Monday. And then you've got, I'm just listening because I can hear a car outside. Melissa says, I'm back. My mum called in. I'm going to try knitting during live. Oh my gosh. Okay, Melissa, if you try knitting during live and you stuff it up, you can't blame it on me. I just need to get that out there now. You just can't. Yeah, you can't blame it on me. Well, I mean, you can, but I'm not going to take the blame. It's a bugger that I'm staying longer. Well, I mean, you technically could, I suppose, but I mean, the rest of us won't be there, and you may have problems with the owner of the retreat place. She may feel that you need to leave. Where are we? So yeah, so we're having a 3-day retreat. It's all foods included, basic B&B style accommodation, no bunks. I'm making little loot bags for everybody, so that's exciting. I'm very excited by the loot bags, but I don't want to give away anything about what I'm putting in them. And we're just gonna hang out and craft and chat. And oh, you're staying longer in Queensland, Sally? No, that's okay, you're allowed to. And we're just gonna craft and chat and hang out and be fed and relax and have a nice time with like-minded people and just chill and chat, and I'm sure there'll be some laughing. I mean, Kim's gonna be there, so you know there's likely to be some laughing. But yeah, that's the plan. It's just to have a really good time. Now, this is our first retreat, and going forward we may make other plans. We might do a workshop or something like that, but for this first one, it's just a sort of a, how do I put this? It is a taste to see if it's something people would like to do more often. It's a taste to see if it's something that we love to do, or and I think the other thing I want to do is I really do want to try and, like, you know, maybe for another one, go to a different location, like a different state, maybe, if, you know, COVID permits. And so, you know, while this one's in Queensland because it's nice and convenient to me, and it's at a location that I love and I go to for some other retreats. So I know I like the food, I know I like the sleeping arrangements and the nice clean bathrooms and things like that. So that's why this one's being held here. But going forward, I would probably like to try and hold one down in Victoria or over in WA or something like that. I've actually never been to WA, so I should probably plan on doing that. See, I know you guys in the US, it's like, it's no biggie not to visit all the states, but we only have 7. So I should probably go to more. I have been to Queensland because that's where I live. I have been to New South Wales because I lived there. I've been to the ACT, and I have been to Victoria. So it's just along the eastern side of the country. I have not gone to Tasmania, which I need to rectify. I've not been to South Australia or Northern Territory or Western Australia. So, you know, there's things I need to do. There's things I need to do. And if I can use you guys as an excuse, then I will. Jackie says in WA it's about 1/3 of the country. Look, geographically it's 1/3 of the country, but it's not 1/3 of the population. So it's also apparently quite beautiful. You should say it cry cut instead of cricket just to get Chantel back. It's not like you don't have anywhere to stay down there now. No, I absolutely, look, you know, at a pinch, I'm sure that there are places I could stay. At a pinch, I am sure that I could find a friend. Hang on, I'm just doing that. Next row join. Hang on, it's always swirly getting into this first one. Look, I don't know if I do this right. This is just how I do them. That makes a square, you know. That's enough for me, right? I'm not that fussy. Makes a square, yay, win. Sally says the only places I haven't been to is Northern Territory and Western Australia. Look, there is many places I haven't been outside of Australia. Like, I've only been to New Zealand and Vanuatu and another island on a cruise. There are many places in the world I would love to go. Many places. It's tough. It's tough. I have a problem with the shawl. It's the first 2 rows. I cast on 3, then yarn over, knit 2, make 1 left, knit to the end. My question is, how do you do a make 1 left from a cast on row? Where do you pick? Oh, that's actually an excellent point. I don't know. What kind of designer makes you do lace straight into a first row? That's actually, there's a lot of designers that do that, but none of my favorites do. They normally let me get into my groove first. Yeah, I would fudge it for the first row and then clean it up after that. Knitspin Girl says I haven't been any further overseas than Phillip Island and there's a bridge. Oh, well, I used to live on Stradbroke Island, no bridge. You have to catch a barge. Rebecca, Bub's suggesting a backwards loop instead of picking up, maybe. Yeah, I mean, that's tricky. I can't. Do they have a video or something with the suggestion? That's painful. Okay, so we got sidetracked. We hello, welcome to Fiberific, where we always get sidetracked. But I want to talk more about planning projects. So I'm tossing up whether or not I actually make, like, what I'm doing for the sewing is I have an Excel spreadsheet with all the details of what I need for each thing that I want to do, because I've joined a 12-month bag making thing where you make a bag a month for 12 months. And so what I've done is I've gotten really big Ziplocs that I picked up from IKEA, and I put the pattern in there, and then as I go through my pattern shopping list, I add all the bits into the Ziploc bag as well. So all the fabric and all the hardware and the pattern pieces and all that stuff, so that when it's time to do that one, it's ready. Now, I don't want to go to that same level of extreme for yarn projects. But what would you suggest that I do to try and make it, like, I've been looking and there's a lot of project planning diaries and printables and things like that that's out there on Pinterest and stuff like that. Do any of you use a project diary or anything like that? Or do you just wing it? Like, I don't know. I'm a winging it kind of person usually. That one feels bigger. Hang on a second, I just got to count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, that is bigger. How did I get that side so much bigger? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Okay, so it's one side is smaller. That's small. I don't know. Kelly says I use the Ravelry queue and I use my notes to add my intended yarn. That's a good way to do it. I like my Ravelry queue. And I do use notes as I'm making things, usually sometimes. Sometimes I put notes into Ravelry, like up to this point I've got this much yarn, I've used this many of my beads. I just found my crochet project Bible thinking I should start use it. However, I know I probably would never use it. Melissa says I put my pattern and yarn and notions in my project bags and a few things on the go at once. Jen says I've never used a diary of any kind, but there is a lot of planning. Like, what kind of planning do you do, Jen? Benfi says I just finished the More Conversation shawl I started on Saturday. Wow, good job, Benfia. I've got to work out what I did wrong. So that's 3, then 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7, 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, so that's right. I know what I did wrong. I know what I did wrong, and it's right back at the start of that stupid. I'm a dum-dum. I'm a dum-dum. Back to the start of the row. Start of the row. Do you guys all just rip out your work? I'm just like, gone. Okay, so what I did was I didn't work into the first stitch, which I had done for the others. If you get little thing, pokey pokey. There we go. Chintami has a day planner with inserts, and I use a page per project. I'm doing it and write down what I'm doing, needles, yarn, and pics of the finished project. I think someone else I know has a thing where they put all the pics of the yarn and like ball labels and things like that as well. I think that's a beautiful thing to have, like especially if you give away a lot of your projects. Spanish says I don't plan any further than deciding I want to do a project, check stash, buy yarn, start project. And that tends to be what I do as well, Spanish, except what I do, I skip a step. I don't check the stash. I just go, well, I don't check the whole stash, or I don't make sure that what I have everything. The hidden stitch, yeah, I skip the hidden stitch on one side. I make sure I have a copy of the pattern to write on. I get all the materials together. So kind of like a variation of what Kim does. Jen says if there is any cutting involved, I cut everything and label it. Yep. Okay. So at the moment in some of my sewing projects, I've just got the fabric in there. They're not cut up yet. My, Kim says her stash is much easier to check now. My stash is a nightmare. My craft room is a nightmare. I know we worked so hard on it last year to get it all nice, but I stalled. What I need to do is I need to get rid of some stuff. Things I don't use to clear some space because I feel like I'm drowning in stuff. And I can't have any of my machines out or anything like that because stuff. I was very, very ruthless at Christmas and ditched a whole pile of stuff in our living areas. So that's really opened those up. Because like I grew up where you don't throw anything away. If it's still good, you keep it. And I can't do that. My house is too small. I don't have enough storage. I pretty well don't have any storage that we haven't added. All the rooms don't have big cupboards or anything. So yeah. Okay, we're using up. Yeah, see how I'm saying like this yarn's not super splitty, but I do notice every now and again I've got to pause and just double check I've got the whole lot, especially if I have ripped it out. Not that I rip it out a lot, but you know, it gets a bit fluffy a bit quick. This one, it's actually a little fluffy even just straight up in the ball. I don't know if you can you see that? See how it's got a little halo on it? Cotton doesn't usually have that much of a halo. It still feels very nice though. For my spinning, a 365-day book, 1 page per project, date at the top, what the fluff is, where I got it, pics, how I'm spinning it, and then I go nuts with the stickers and washi tape to make it pretty. Rebecca finally ordered needles for her knitting belt. Oh, fantastic, Rebecca. You're not going to know yourself. Spanish Chick says cottons tend to be more splitty as a general rule. I agree with that. Sally couldn't see the ball. I'll see if I can get a nice close-up photo and share it over on the Facebook page. Okay, I'm getting croaky. I need a drink. So this week I tried something that my doctor wasn't super keen on, but it was an option because we're trying to work out what's wrong with my throat, because there's nothing that they can really see. Great, yay. So I actually went off all my asthma meds for a couple of days and my voice came back. The problem being I got puffed real fast and started coughing again, so I had to go back on. So we know what's causing the voice loss is the asthma meds. So yay. That's awesome. Love that. Love it. Let me have a look here. So yes, I just want to say thank you to those of you that jumped over onto Instagram and liked my posts. I appreciate that. I got some little comments as well, so thank you. I definitely hang on, go back. Definitely appreciate you guys helping me kickstart my Instagram again after me being slack. It's not anyone's fault but my own. Hello Ruth, welcome to the chat. But I do appreciate you helping me to fix it. Yeah, I love Instagram, and I kind of just got into a bit of a funk with everything and felt guilty that there were things I hadn't done that I wanted to get done, and so I couldn't Instagram because I hadn't done the other things, which is such a dumb way to think. Honestly, it's useless thinking. It doesn't help any. It's very, what's the word for it? When it's just like ridiculous and nonsensical. Like, it's totally wrong. It's totally the wrong way to think. They're in no way related. Sally says I've been super slack with Instagram as well. Yep. So but that's the thing, I love it. The other night actually, oops, now I just need to make sure I get the stitch that I'm covering up here because I'm doubling back into the corner. Poke. Had to get my tongue in just the right spot for that one. Counterproductive, that could be it. That could be the word I'm looking for. I think that's even bigger word than I was looking, but that'll do it, because that's what it was. I wasn't feeling that I was doing enough stuff, so I did less stuff. Counterproductive is exactly the word I was looking for. Sorry. Oh. What are your thoughts on using a sawhorse for a swift and ball winder? I think that if it fits on there, if I fits, I sits. It's just cat logic. If their bases fit on there securely and you can clamp them on, then absolutely do it. I've seen some amazing Swift setups using, it's an IKEA piece of equipment that looks a bit sawhorse shaped. So it is definitely, it's definitely an option if you have one. And the thing is, you want to make sure that everything clamps onto it securely. You don't want too much overhang, because they usually have bases of a particular size because they need a base of that size. So as long as it supports it, I'm all for it. Your present is waiting for you. Do you prefer English breakfast or ginger beer tea? Now, I love English breakfast and I love ginger beer, but I've never tried ginger beer tea. So maybe the ginger beer tea? Yeah, that sounds amazing. Sally says, I just have nothing new to post. However, I do need to post an update on my queen. What's a sawhorse? A sawhorse is something that tradies use, that they normally put them in pairs, and then they can put something on it and then cut it. Or they put it on one and cut off the edge of it, and it gives them like a stable, like tiny workbench sort of thing. If I fits, I sits. I love that phrase. I think that's my cat's logic. It's like if he's in a box, and because cats are liquid, and yeah, it doesn't matter if there is no way that he can fit, he will try and get into it. It's not a trestle leg, I don't think, Kim. I'll look it up and I'll throw it up in the fun zone. It might be a trestle leg. It's got oh, look at this. This is actually the second time I've seen this come up in this pink ball of yarn. So this is the second knot in this pink ball of yarn. Good job. What is it? It's a 50-gram ball of yarn with 2 knots in it. Is that right? That's annoying. I don't know if it's 50 grams or 100. 100 meters. 2.5 ounces. What's that? That's 50 grams, isn't it? 2.5 ounces. Anyway, 2 knots. I don't like that. I know. I know why we get it. I understand the logic and all that sort of stuff, but I think in a 50-gram ball, you should have 1. Not 2. 2 knots so far. Oh, thanks, John, for throwing that into the universe. Yeah, there's still a bit of yarn left in this ball. Oh. Cats are liquids. Yes, they are. So these FINCH fiddle sticks, 10 ply. So it's 2.5 ounces. Oh, it's got it written right there. 71 grams. Anyway, okay. Oh, well, I'm just blind. It's fine. It's fine, everybody. It's fine. There's nothing to see here. I'm just a blindy blindo. Isn't an empty box a cat trap? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Especially for Mr. Tibbles. He can't help himself. Oh, you guys, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you wouldn't know the news. The news that I have, that I had in an Instagram story this week. And that news is we are getting a new puppy. We're going to get Snowy a little baby brother to play with. While we don't know if it's the best timing, honestly, but he needed a home and we think is adorable, and we were always going to get another dog. And so we just decided to take the plunge now. So he's a little Havanese poodle mix. So he's hypoallergenic, so Abby shouldn't react to him. Havanese poodles, also known as Havapoo. And his name's going to be Louie. I lost the vote. Even though Instagram said Archie was more popular, Abby's vote apparently counts for more. She also said that only the smart people voted for Louie. Also, I spelt Louie wrong. So apparently it's my fault people didn't vote for Louie because I misspelt Louie. And she goes, what if they think that you wrote Lewis and not Louie? So, yeah. But yeah, so Tim's trying to think of all funny names that go with Havapoo, like Anita. But we had to explain to him that you know, it's a boy dog. We can't call it Anita. So yeah, the poor dog has jokes made up about it already. So fess up, you're only getting that dog because it's a Havapoo. No. No, we're not. But you know, and we know he's got a little yeah, that was another one that he came up with as well, John, Ivana. We came up one yesterday that was boy, and we were all laughing on the floor. Oh my gosh, I wish Abby was watching the stream. She probably remembers it. Gunner, Gunner, it was a boy's name that came up in a doggy boy's name list. Gunner Havapoo. Well, the S is silent in Louis. I know, Jackie, and that's how I spelt it. And then Abby was all like, "You spelt it wrong." push your gender norms on your poor dog. I mean, you're right. You're so right, John. What am I thinking? Oh dear, no. So we're going with Louie. And I just said, is it a good idea having a dog called Lou that's a Habapoo? Anyway, she just looked at me like I ruined it for her or something. I don't know. But she explained to me why she likes Louie. She has multiple reasons for liking Louie. A, Louie the puppy. Let's see if I can... No, no, I don't have the photo on my iPad and my phone's not handy. All right. The puppy is like a two-tone thing. He's like a brown and a gold. And there's a character in Animal Crossing called Louie that's brown and gold that she loves. Some sort of gorilla. But she also loved Louie, the TV show, when she was a kid. And she loved that show. Is Louie having oh gosh, thanks Tali for putting that in my head. If Kevin can be a girl, Abby works with a girl called Kevina. I don't know, I think Kevina, but Abby keeps calling her Kevina. How's the iPad going? I'm adjusting, and I'll be sitting on the couch and I'll be trying to look up something and I'll be on my iPad trying to do it, and then it's just like, oh, this is too hard. Grab my phone, blah, 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 done. Okay, cool, done, excellent. Then put the phone back down and open up the exact same website back up on my iPad. It's very weird for me. Oops, hang on. I need to put in some corner bits. It's starting to bunch up a little. But yes, I'm adjusting to it. I'm actually using it as my stream monitor today instead of my phone, because it stands up by itself, which is handy. Well, it's because I bought a case that it can stand up with. Okay, hang on. I just got to get the spot again. I don't want to miss it. Okay. There we go. All right. So I'm just working on, for those of you that are just joining in, I'm just working on a full granny square face washer. I'm going to edge it in the pretty grey just to make it match the others, and I'll probably go in between these two sizes. So I'll probably go all the way to the edge in pink and then put a grey edge there. Where are we? I couldn't do what I want to do on a Samsung tablet, Game Widows, which is why I didn't buy one, which is why I bought the iPad. There were things I needed to be able to do that I can only do in iOS. So Freaky says, I find it odd how a website on a PC is not the same as on a tablet. No, it's not. Tablet and mobile are normally the same, but not tablet and PC. Yeah. Different operating system and app software, and it handles how, yeah, that's right. John O'Brien is onto his Queen chart too. Come on, John O'Brien. So the apps, one of them is Clubhouse, which is only available on iOS. It will probably eventually come out on Android, but at the moment there is no workaround. Unless you have an iOS device, not even an Apple Mac, iOS only, then you can't use that software. But also there are some parts of the Cricut design software that I have the software on my phone. I have the software on my laptop. That's a screen, but my laptop. But there are functions that are only available in iOS, which are useful. So, and I'm finding that across a few things, that there are some things that there's just more available in the iOS version. And, you know, I'll adjust. I'll get there. Yeah, that's the thing, Sally. What number queen, though? You know, I'm still not up to chart 2 on my first queen because I put it down because my brain went, no more crochet for you, honey bunny. And now I'm working on face washes to try and get my crochet mojo back. My project that I moved to the couch, though, is my queen. So that's the next thing. I want to get it finished before winter. I think it's going to be an amazing doona on my bed. Are you all making more than one queen? I'm not. I'm making one queen. John's making multiple. Oh, John, this is your first one as well. I thought you were on to your second or third by now. Jen Deal has one more after the one she's working on. Well, there, yeah. Wow. You guys are amazing. You're so inspiring to keep me going, honestly. Because I'm definitely a process knitter, not a project knitter. Well, not knitter, but process crafter rather than project. With sewing, I like a project. But with all my yarn crafts and stuff, I like the process more than the actual end product. So yeah. Part of this is something is released on iOS first. Well, I mean, look, the reality is it's normally released on iOS first because Apple control so much. There's only certain types of devices where if it once it goes into Android, which I want everything to go into Android, don't get me wrong, I am not Team Apple. But for Android, there's multiple devices, multiple operating systems, multiple screen sizes, and all the apps have to be able to fit all of it, not just, you know, 6-inch and 12-inch and, you know, whatever. John has 3 kids, so he has to make one for each. Oh, wow, that's a big task. And do they all want a queen? Like, none of them want a different style of mosaic. Like, I understand they all want a mosaic, but, you know, I made mine now one for my mum and then one for my daughter. Oh, my daughter doesn't want one. I'm sure if I'd made one in colors she likes, she would probably steal it, like everything else that I make in colors that she likes. But as I did not make this one in colors she likes, but more colors that my husband likes and that I am okay with, if that makes sense. I am still on my first queen, though I've had requests for baby items for a set of twins. Oh, what would you make, Ruth? Jackie says it costs a lot of money to develop software and every new platform is a completely new design process and separate coding, so basically the same as doing the whole new program. Yes, it is. That's right. And some companies just decide, you know what, I just want one half of the coin. I don't want the whole coin. So they just go iOS only. So, and that's what's frustrating is it's usually iOS only. It's not usually Android only. So I'm just like, I like apple pies too, Freaky, not Sally with her apple all the way. And that iMac, the MacBook Pro. In saying that, I quite liked using the MacBook that I borrowed. It took some adjusting to, and it's very different. And I don't think I would want to constantly switch between 2 different sort of things. I would get confused eventually. Eventually my brain would be all like, no more. All right, this is going to be my last round in the pink. Guess who just put Clubhouse on her Android? I bet you it is not the right Clubhouse app because there is no Clubhouse app for Android. That's the actual Clubhouse that we're using. There is a Clubhouse app on Android. It is not this app. It's a different app. This app has a man's face as its thing, as its icon, not a purple thing. The purple thing one is not the one we want. John says I have to support customers who use Mac, so I bought the MacBook Pro. I'm a Linux PC guy though. Yeah. And that's part of it as well, because I get asked how to do something and I'm just like, what do you want? And they're like, an iPad. And you're like, cannot help. But now I'll eventually be able to help with things. Maybe. Possibly. So, oh, I just did that. Did you guys see that? I accidentally did an increase. That was dumb. Oh, hello, very loud air conditioner. I don't like you. I don't like my new air conditioning unit one little bit. I can handle the noise when it comes on, but there's also a vibrating noise that comes through with it, driving me doolally. But I am glad that you guys can't hear it. So that is positive. Alrighty, let's join on here. Alright. Sally says my aircon makes lots of noises too. Vibrating noises are the worst. Yeah. Alright. So, I'm just going to move the book. So, this is weirdly... Okay, it's this one that's not square. That's square enough. Okay, grey. I might join on a different corner. And then in the first one, okay, so should I just do rounds of grey, the exact same like trebles or double crochets that I'm doing here now, or should I do, because they're different, should I do what I've done here and do like a row of singles and then a row of half doubles? Yeah, I don't know, what do you guys reckon? Or just make it all trebles all the way around, or half double crochet. Trebles are double crochets in US lingo. Sorry, I'm struggling to convert. I just automatically went straight into doing the double crochets, so I just thought, oh, hang on a second, pause, and see what you all think. So singles and half doubles, so it matches this one. Is Kelly Pole's suggestion. What will give you the same stitch count? It doesn't matter. These are face washers. They're not being joined together. So must match, lol. Well, what did I do here? I just did 2 rows of singles on this one because it was already so big. Pause for dramatic effect. Oh. I was listening in to a thing on Clubhouse because it's all audio. You sort of have conversations and there's speakers and moderators, and you can just go into like rooms. You walk down like a hallway and you can find different rooms. So far, most of the rooms I've found are sort of techie, but that's just because of the people I follow. So you only are shown rooms of people that you follow. It's kind of how they make it so that you're not bombarded with everything. And so I what is a traditional granny border? I don't know what a traditional granny border is. John, let me know. But yeah, so I go in and I was listening and someone was talking about how what they really hate is people who have a live stream and then have a second camera angle that they switch to, but they're still facing the other angle, so you just get a shot of the side of their face just talking. And I was just like, man, can you imagine if I had a third camera angle here? This would just be like insanity. If they're washes, will it matter if they match? No, it won't. It will not matter. No, because I normally only have one washer out at a time. I'm not a washer display person. I just chuck a washer in the bath. That's it. Pull the washer out, toss it in the washing machine. So if they match, oh gosh, 3 doubles, chain. Oh, okay, I understand now. I understand. Make it a bit more holy around the edge. A spanner cam. Yeah, well, there's a span. Yeah, that's an option. Actually, Kim, sorry. You remember last time you were here and the aircon was blowing directly at you and I couldn't fix it? And the guy was here installing this one and he did something. I'm like, oh, that's nice that one does this. And he goes, your other one did that as well. And I was just like, what? Because it means I could blow the air across the top of the roof and it wouldn't blow at you. I didn't know, Kim, that I could move that thing. A holy granny, that's right. Because this is a solid granny. If anyone's looking up mosaic blanket, inspo, look up Metty Hesselberg. Really? I watched a podcast yesterday that had a second camera on her spinning wheel, but it wasn't filming at the same time. Did my head in. Oh dear. Oh wow. Okay, well, I don't know if I want. Do you know what? I'm not going to do the holy granny just because then I'd have to count, make sure I've got the right number of stitches to make it work. So, but what I am going to do is I'm just going to do half doubles all the way around. I hate it when they don't sync. I hate it when they don't sync too, Freaky Geek. It bugs me. And it's actually like, was it a video or was it a live stream? Because with a live stream, it's not that hard to make them sync. Actually, in a video, it's not that hard to make them sync. What were they doing? Goodness me. I'm so judgmental. So judgmental. Bye, Melissa. Have a great day. Yeah, I'm definitely judgmental. Oh, guys, I've got so many plans coming into play. And I think part of wanting to get my crochet back is it's part of something I want to do going forward. And so I need to have my mojos in play. Otherwise, things aren't going to work how I want them to work. And yeah, it's just, I've got videos. I'm making a list. Are you ready? I don't know if any of you will care that much, but I care, okay? But I'm looking at bringing stuff I love back. So just once a month, just the stuff I love videos to help me keep positive. It's a selfish reason. I'm bringing it back for me. I know a few of you have asked. They didn't rate very well on YouTube. And then I had to think about it. And I was just like, you know what? YouTube didn't like them that much. That's fine. But you know who did like them? Me. And I was listening into another Clubhouse discussion on YouTube. And they were talking about making a video for the viewer and a video for yourself, because sometimes they don't always align on what the viewers want to see versus what you want to create. And that's kind of the biggest divide for me, is live streams totally don't count in this count. They're totally not relevant in this count. So the live streams would still happen, but what I want to try and do, is have a video for me, which will be my stuff I love videos, and then a video for the channel as well. So I want to slowly bring them in, and I'm trying not to put too much pressure on myself. She says, with the crazy list of things that she wants to do. But yeah, so I've got some stuff that's coming. There's going to be some emails coming out explaining some changes. Yeah, it's crazy time here at Fiberific. John says, it's your channel, screw those YouTube people. Unfortunately, those YouTube people and the Patreons what pay to make it that I can afford to keep doing live streams. Time wise, they take a lot of time, and I love making the live streams, but it's one of those things I have to justify it a little bit from a business perspective, because the business does pay for all the gear and the internet and the cameras and the lighting and the laptop upgrades to make sure that the live streams can still work. Oh, what's happened here? It was splitty and I split it, and I was only crocheting with 3 out of the 4 strands. Yeah, so I kind of have to justify a little bit is where I'm getting at, John. That I do need to make it so that YouTube like what I do, because YouTube make it so I can keep doing what I'm doing. So, but I'm still going to do things I like too. I'm going to do both. So that's what I'm going to do, is all the things with my spare time. No, that's all right. There'll be some stuff coming. So if you're not a member on the Fiberific email list, make sure you get on there. There's a link at the bottom of my website. There's also a link on the Facebook page, not the group, but the actual page. So if you want to stay in the know, make sure you follow on that you put yourself onto the email list. I do not share my email list with anybody. It just is for me and the software that I use for sending out the email. Freaky, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be removing some things from my plate so that I can add on some things that I'm passionate about, so that I can do the things I want to do. Oh, oh, it's leaning on the table. Sorry about that. So yeah, I'm going to be removing some things I'm less passionate about and adding in some things that I'm more passionate about. So that's why you need to keep an eye on the website, because things will be changing. If you've been on the website lately, you'll notice that all fiber is gone. So I'm no longer going to sell fiber except as special sort of runs. It's not going to be a regular website thing. And as some of my product lines run out, I will not be getting more of them back in. I'm having a problem with a couple of my suppliers, so I've decided that I will not deal with them. It's that simple. So definitely be keeping Chalgu and Clover and Margicraft. But going forward from there, it will depend on some things. Stacey, good morning. Forgot it was Thursday. Yes, I nearly forgot too. I remembered late last night that today was Thursday. Spanish Chick says husband, children, cleaning, cooking. Yeah, no, I'm trying to reprioritize things a little in my life. And I'm getting back into meal planning and making sure that I can do some of that stuff. I'm also going to be getting my U-Foods back in for my lunches once Abby goes back to school. Things like that. Just like there's so much I want to get done. I don't want to spend like half an hour trying to just decide what I'm going to have for lunch, because I can't have sandwiches all the time. I can't eat bread, or not a lot of bread. So I can't just knock up a sandwich, or, School's back next week. Yes, Wednesday. Not at all counting down. Because you need boxes. What do I need boxes for? I am perplexed, Kim. Perplexed. Yes, school is back next week. Abby starts year 11. So that is just mind-blowing in itself. I cannot believe that. I think I am doing half doubles. Yeah, my house is one big box. Oh, look, I can fit my stash all in this one box. Please stop calling our house a box. Yeah, I'm just doing half double, Bob. But I might do 2. Do you reckon 2 rounds of the half double, or is 1 enough? Space-wise. Space-wise, I need a second round, really, because I want it to be a little bigger than this one. Because I liked this one, but it's a dash on the small side. It'll be good for like face stuff, but I like a bit more for the body. Yeah, so just keep an eye out. Nothing's going to happen quickly. everything's going to be slowly, you know, everyone's going to get plenty of notice on different changes and things like that. But most of the information will come out via the Fiberific Facebook page, not that so much the Fun Zone, and also out of email. So make sure you're a member over on the email list, and you'll be informed of things. Those that are on Patreon will be informed the soonest, because that's how I do things. Patreon first, then email list, then Facebook is normally how it works. Jen says school is back here and he is asked to stay virtual for this semester. Oh really, Jen? How do you feel about that? I know that my daughter didn't do so well with the virtual this first time round, but we were having a discussion about that. If something happened and she had to go virtual again, would she take it more seriously? And she was definitely like, yeah, I definitely would. There would be things I'd do differently. So, but her school had sorted the virtual out very well. It made it very easy to do. But I know not all schools did the same thing as Abby. So Abby's school, they had digital classrooms and the teachers could see their faces for the whole session. So there was no, you know, just mum helping them do the work. The teacher was in the classroom. They raised their hand and they asked questions, and it was very well done. Okay. Yeah, I think one more round. What do you think? One more round of the half double crochet just to match that again. Another one of those just to bring it out a little more. What do you think? I'll drink tea while you tell me. You can mull it over and let me know in the chat. I need more tea. No? Okay, well, I shall just do what I want to do then. One more round from Knit Spin Girls. Okay, Knit Spin Girls, you and I on the same page. Oh, there we go. I watched a movie yesterday because my brain is not my brain's not really there. I watched a really old movie. Actually, it looked easy on the really old, Chantel. It was a movie from 1990. I was watching Total Recall, Arnie Schwarzenegger. One more round. Jen says after recovering from COVID, I'm totally fine with it. Yeah, I think that if you're fine with it, then you should do it. Like if the school will do it, and you know, you've like where you guys are, definitely I would do it if you can. You should have done a few rounds of singles in the back loop for scrubbing action. Actually, that would have been nice. That would have been good. I could probably, no, it'd only be one round. Half doubles through the back loop do the same thing as singles through the back loop. So, yeah. I'll know that for the next one, John. We'll do something like that. So we can have a scrubby. Yeah, no, you got to do what you're happy with. And if he wants to do it and you're okay with it, then I'd probably do it. Get in the corner. Oh, Splitty McSplitty pants. Good job. Well done. Aren't you a superhero? So yeah, so we've got some videos coming up. We've got some changes to the website coming up. We've got workshops coming up. So Crochet Guild of Australia has their conference. They're booked in again. There'll be something coming out from them soon. But I'm teaching there. I've got something else. What else? Bendigo is looking like it's happening, as you know, all things crossed just in case. Captain Tight Pants, hello. I love Firefly. was so sad when it only went for one season. I think that they did pretty well with the Serenity movie as a bit of closure, but I think that they should have just had 3 more seasons. Do you know what else we watched last night? It was meant for torture for Abby, and it worked. It worked as torture for Abby, but it's one of those things that you realize how inappropriate it was. We watched. I can't remember which streaming service it is. We watched the first episode of Golden Girls. Like, because it was Betty White's 99th birthday, and Abby was just like, hasn't she always been old? And so then we went and showed her this. And Abby was just like, whoa. So, yeah, just insane. But some of the stuff that they joked about is sort of like, oh, geez. Far out, mate. Yeah, John, I agree with that. I agree with what you said there. Stupid movie. Kill off an awesome character like that. Betty White is a national treasure. I agree with you. But yes, Bendigo is looks like it's happening. So the actual venue is going ahead. There's the Fiberific camp in April. That is going to happen for a few of us that are local. Just so much planning and going into it, and I think that I'm excited by it. I'm a bit nervous. I have heard nothing about Redlands as yet. I should get into contact with some people and find out what's going on there, because I believe Redlands is the Tuesday after the Crochet Guild weekend, and so if I'm going to do Redlands, I'm going to need to make sure I make enough stock for both events, and just leave the Redlands stuff at home. Not just the locals, says Sally. I meant locals as in Australians. Sorry, Sally, I should have been more clear. So just the Australians. I know Margicraft Camp is happening, so if you're in New Zealand, you should go and check that out. It's New Zealand only. They're not having any international instructors this year, which I get. I understand that. I ordered a Firefly DVD last year, and he asked which season I wanted. It's like, I want season 2. I'm sorry, we can't get that in for you. Have you tried it anywhere else? It's like, no. Yeah, that was a really bad, that was an executive decision because they'd finished season 1. They made a bloopers reel for season 1, which ended up turning into a breakup party. You should order some Fiberific fabric and make a crafter's caddy. Oh, that's a very interesting idea. You mean like this one, like the you know, all the different size ones? That would be very interesting. We could do a pre-order if anyone else is interested in it, because there's a few sewers in here, isn't there? Be like, okay, I'm ordering. If you want some, you let me know. The other thing I've been looking at, Kim, is that the crafter's pouch with the clear top on it, like the rectangle one with the zip and you flip it. I think that's, anyway. Is there a tablecloth in Redbubble? I believe there is, but it works out really expensive, I think. I should look into it. I should definitely look into it. I have to just totally cheat because I can't get into the stitch thing, so I just do 3. Yeah, no, I haven't looked into it. I probably should contact some people I know in the fabric world and see how hard a thing it is to do. Because that would be cute if we could all make our own little things. I would like that a lot. Would you use spoon flour for printing fabric? I don't know. They work out very expensive as well, I think. I would have to, I've got some contacts that do some fabric work, and I can have a little talk to them and see what can be done. I don't know if anything can be done really, but you know, work out if there's other options than spoonflower, because spoonflower works out quite pricey for what we do. Okay, hang on, we are at the corner. There we go. All right, yeah, I'm happy enough with that. Bam, that was a simple one, wasn't it? Do you mean the Timoy bags that Claire did the reviews on? No, it's a pattern. It's a pattern. Hang on. Oh, I've got my iPad just here. I'll quickly look up what it's called. It's from Little Moo Designs. And she has a lot of really cool patterns. Little Moo Designs. I like the Social Stitches project pouch, but also, where is it? The Craftinator project pouch. Yeah, I wonder if, all right, I'm going to try something. I'm going to try something, you guys. All right, I'm going in and I'm going to see if we can do this. I don't know if we can do it. I'm going to try. All right. I can't see the chat while I'm trying, okay? So oh, bad. That's bad. All right, hang on. All right, that didn't work. I did something wrong. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Hang on. I need to cover that. How's that? Is that better? Let me look. YouTube. Oh, stop it. It's being about, let me have a look here. Oh no, I'm not caught up with the live. Hang on. There we go. Okay, that's working. All right. Yeah, I just needed to cover up my actual streaming screen because it was like, you know, doing its thing on itself. Can you guys hear me is a good question. So I wonder if I can just Inception much better. So you guys can hear me? I hope you can. Sorry, that was just a flash to the screen. All right, so the ones I like are this one here, the Social Stitches project pouch. I like this one. So it's got lots of space. It's got mesh pockets inside it. It's got a clear vinyl pocket on the outside. Stop that, you evil photo. I like that one. Okay, so that's a winner. But I also like not the clear view. Where is it? Where is it? She's got so many cool pins. I should have just searched for PDF patterns, shouldn't I? Let's see if we can go there. PDF bag patterns. That narrows it down a little. All right, there's that one that we like. Then there is, here it is, the Craftinator pouch. So you can actually open it all the way up and see inside what you've got in there. And I think that one's really cute. I haven't really done anything with that level of vinylness. So, all right, I've got to, okay, everyone close your eyes. I've got to go back to here. There we go. That's better. All right, so that's what I'm looking at. So we'll go back here, back to the chat. Let's see. You can hear me. I can hear you. Spanish Chick says we can't. Sewing ninjas. Yes, sewing ninjas. Okay, so yeah, so there come some of the things that I'm looking at that I want to make for myself. So, you know, if you guys want to come on this sewing journey, I'm sure I'll put it on Instagram as well. but her patterns are great. PDF print them out. I've not had a single problem with her patterns so far. They're very clear. So there we go. We have got 3 now. Oh, I suppose I should just weave in the ends while I'm here. So back to this one. Is everything good again? Everyone's happy? What do you guys think of Little Moo Designs? I like her stuff. I'm a bit biased though. She's a nice lady. I was thinking door prizes. Ah, were you now, Kimmy? That sounds like a cool plan. Like in the Fiberific fabric. I can hear music. I hope you guys can't hear the music. It's very loud. I think it's my neighbours. They're very loud. My June neighbour moved out. And the owner of the house is being a total butt face. And she has to keep coming back and doing stuff. Oh my gosh, that music's louder than the air conditioner, just to say. The pet door, yeah, totally the pet door. Trim. Could you hear that music, Freaky Geek? Man, I hope that YouTube didn't hear it. Could you just hear the doof doof, or could you actually hear the music? Because that was them just driving up their driveway to park. That was how loud it was. And if you could hear that over the top of the rattly air conditioner, oh my God, that's so loud. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. They've definitely settled down a bit than when they first moved in. So, got to go feed Tigger. Bye, Kathy. Have a fantastic day. Oh, good. Talia can't hear any of it. Excellent, Talia. That warms my little soul. It means YouTube's not going to come in with a big old ban hammer. I tell you what, you know, like, you guys know I mod over on a techie page, right? And the number of people that are like, I can use just like 10 seconds of this, can't you? Can't I? And we're just like 10 seconds of someone else's content in their own video. And you're just like, I mean, you can technically, but you shouldn't. And they're like, oh yeah, but there's fair use. And it's just like, you do realize that not every country has fair use. And that you actually, if you get hit by a copyright strike, so like for music or for an article or for an image or something or video, you don't actually have a legal leg to stand on. Oh yes, you do, you know, blah. No, you don't. They're like, why can so many other channels get away with it? It's like, because that's all they're doing. They're getting away with it. They're not, they haven't been caught and getting around it. They've just not, someone hasn't noticed. And they're like, yeah, but this guy, he uses stuff and the brand likes it, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, then he probably has some sort of deal. He's probably paid for the content or right to use it. They're like, yeah, no, but, and you're just like, oh my God, that's just not how copyright works. It's like talking to crafters about how copyright works. Some people are just like, yeah, but if I just change this little bit, then I can sell the pattern. And you're just like, oh, you've got to change a fair bit of it to be able to sell the pattern. Why not just design something else? Anyway, that's been my week. There is no but with copyright. That is so true, Jackie. That is so true. And people need to realize not every country has the same copyright laws. So you've got to try and cover yourself across multiple countries. Like there's some countries that don't actually enforce any copyright law. And it's not illegal to do what they do in their own country. But it is definitely frowned upon everywhere else. Is that all of the ends? All the ends are done. So look at our little, we've got a little set now, everybody. Got a little set. Look at that. Sweet. I'm going to bring us up onto our single camera with our red bubble ticker. If you are still here, you're a bit of a diehard. You're awesome. Thank you. Don't forget you can go and check out and get your own Fiberific merch over at Redbubble if you want your own little, you know, project pouches or cups or what have you, what nots, as Abby would say, what not, over there. John O'Brien saying, people stealing my photography, it's on the internet, therefore it's free. Oh my gosh, yes. People who want to use other people's content in their thumbnails. It is not free. Go and pay for it. You like, is it worth it though? I don't know. I think I missed something. Copyright laws have a lot of variations and room, but the basics are if you are infringing on someone's ability to profit from their own intellectual property, then you are breaching copyright. That's right. I think that's the Australian copyright laws. I think the American laws are slightly different. But yes, same sort of idea. Same sort of idea. It is insane. It's insane. It just does my head in, like copyright laws. And they're not there to be evil. They're there to protect people's intellectual property. That's what they're there for. Like, I see this thing on Facebook. It is a company, can't remember the name of them, but what they're doing is they're selling this big Disney pack of SVGs, which are things to put through your Cricut and stuff like that. So they're like cutting files and things. So you can get like Grogu and Mickey and like, there's literally hundreds and hundreds of images in this pack. And someone asked the question, can I sell items that I have made using these files? And that the person was like, oh, no, you can't, because this is you're only covered for yourself. But what it actually means is if they're not selling the commercial right to it, they probably don't have the commercial right to it. So you're just like, oh my God, it's crazy. It's crazy. Jackie says that the same people would probably be really upset if someone used their photos without their permissions. Absolutely. Absolutely. But is my property smarter than me? Oh, freaky. That's terrible. Yeah, no, protecting people's intellectual property is hard. It's a tough gig. YouTube try really hard to protect it. You've got like the likes of Ravelry that probably doesn't do as much as it should, but also they don't really have the people for it. You've got like Facebook. If you have music in your background, you're automatically pinged. It doesn't matter if you actually have the right to use that music. There's a really amazing creator called Harris Heller, and he has created all of this copyright free music. Like, he has written it, produced it, everything, because he's a Twitch streamer and he knows how hard it is to get good music to play in your background, especially like some of these Twitch streamers go for like all day playing games and things. So they need music as well to keep them going. And people were just getting pinged left, right and center because you can't just play anything. And so he created these amazing playlists of all of this royalty-free music that he himself wrote and produced, and there's no record label that he's dealing with and nothing. It's all his. So he's got it out there. So YouTube are on board. They're like, yes, sweet as brew. Everyone's sort of Twitch on board. Sweet as brew, no problems. Facebook, wait, you've got music. Bam. And what they do is they actually just kill your stream. They just instantly like gone. And so yeah, it's really awkward. Some companies just like go, nope, no music for anybody. And then other companies are just like, only music for those people that have got special permissions. And then yeah, it's insane. It's a tough gig. I can't imagine doing it myself, but I find the easiest way to avoid the problem is to not have music. But I've been listening to some of the Harris Heller music and I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I actually have it playing here through the day while I'm just working. A major one during the heyday of LiveJournal and MySpace. Oh my God, John, that's terrible. Wow. But then there was also stuff all over her website about not stealing her photos, but then she'd used yours. That's just insanity, isn't it? And that's normally people's thinking. It's what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. So it is just full of insanity. It's just full of insanity. And I see people like post a photo on Instagram. I know of an account that had a problem. Someone was like screenshotting and re-uploading all of her photos into their own page, including her family photos. It wasn't just yarn stuff. And she said, you know, I probably could have drawn the line at the yarn stuff because it was getting me a little bit of, you know, traction and stuff like that. But when she went through the feed and found it was every single photo, including one of her husband and their child, that was it. She was just like, nope. And it happens all the time. Bub says Little Moo Designs looks good. Yeah, look, she's Australian. She's up here at Pittsworth. She does beautiful designs. She's on TikTok now, which is so funny to watch. She has a little YouTube channel. She goes live in her Facebook group. So like one thing that I really loved was not long ago, she went through all the different interfacings that she recommends to use in her patterns. And it really helped it so that when I go shopping, I actually understand more because I know nothing. So it's really helpful. And she also every now and again sells templates to her patterns. So there's a couple of her patterns that I'd be like, dude, I would make a ton of those. Like, you know, that little bag that I made with the Star Wars stuff? I'll probably make more of them. That's a really good sized little bag. It's only small. I would put it sort of, the width is in between these two, the width, but the height is this one. So it's probably sort of more like that. But it's got a gusset bottom, like a flat square bottom and stuff. And so I really like that one. But I think that I've got a couple more that I've got ready in my bags. You know how I said I'd plan out my, you know, other stuff. So I've got 2 more in there that I'm ready to go on with. I've got all their hardware and their fabric and everything. I haven't cut them out though. But yeah, so I love her stuff. Her stuff is great. I am biased. She's nice. Talia says, I've had someone use my picture of me as theirs on Facebook. It is just ridiculous, isn't it? It's just ridiculous. Jackie says the effort to do that is insane. It's easy to make your own content. Yes, I'll tell you what, you guys know I like Roberto Blake. He's a YouTube educator. He's one of the amazing people that I can talk to and get help from and stuff like that. And there was a guy literally downloading Roberto's videos and then uploading them to his own channel. No changes, nothing. This guy is like a white dude and Roberto is not. So it's not like he was trying, he tried to fight it. He tried to go, no, these are my videos. And it's just like, no, they're not. Anyway, it was insane. Spanish Chick has to go to Voodoo to pick up her order. Oh my gosh. I didn't know you could do that. I've got to go to Harvey Norman to get some more decalc for my coffee machine because seriously, get this. The decalc comes in a, I think it's a 700ml bottle or a 600ml bottle or something like that. But you have to use, so how does it work out? Basically, in the bottle, there's enough for 2.5 runs through the machine. Not 3, not 2, but 2.5. So it's really frustrating. So I've got this, my husband thought we had enough there and I'm like, nope, we don't. That's what it is. It's a 250ml bottle and you need 100ml to run through the system. John says, decalc, you mean vinegar. When my machines run out of their warranty, I go to citric acid. But while they're under warranty, I use their particular brand so they can't go all like, wah. So yeah, so once it's out of warranty, I'll switch over to citric acid. Talia says that they started adding my friends who didn't know anything was up. Oh my gosh. That happens a bit. Like, I remember one time I'd just been messaging someone and then I got a friend request from them. And I was just like, hey, did you just start a new account? And they're like, no. And so I screenshotted it and sent it to them. They're just like, oh my God, that's so not me. And then I had another one. Is I hadn't thought and just accepted a friend request. Next thing you know, I've started getting these messages. Oh my God, did you hear about this thing? All you have to do is this. And I'm just like, wow, Sarah, that's fantastic. Oh, wow. Because I knew instantly the second they started going on about this sort of thing and about how good it was. I'm like, how would I sign up for that? And they're like, oh, it's so easy. All you got to do is just click this link and then, and I'm just like, wow. And now I've screenshotted you and reported you to Facebook for stealing my friend's identity. And they blocked me. People spoof accounts all the time trying to suck you in and get money. Yes, that's what it is. I've had a couple of really fun phone calls the last couple of days from from outside of the country, letting me know that the tax office has started an investigation on my tax ID and that I'm going to go to jail if I don't pay this $10,000 fine into this bank account. And it's just like, oh, I totally should pay that. Not. Oh gosh, JB Hi-Fi have it too. Oh, okay, I'll check that. It's, where are we? Talia Voodoo Rabbit. Yeah, it's an amazing fabric store. They also sell dresses, like already made. So you can check that out too. It's pretty cool. There's some cool stuff. The other one is it Missy Rose? Is that the other one that we like, Kim? But yeah, I definitely am running out to put the money in the accounts. You guys are the worst. Seriously, it's nearly 10 past and nobody told me. Worst friends. Worst friends ever. All right, my friends. You're not the worst friends ever. I get it. I'm going to go because my voice is just about gone again. And I've got one last sip of tea left. There's not even any more in the container. It's all empty. And so I'm going to go inside and make some more. Kim says, I thought you wanted to talk. Thanks, Kim. My ex called me at work in tears because she'd gotten a call from the IRS saying that we were going to arrest her. She called me because I did the tax paperwork. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I know. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. The lengths these bad guys go to try and scam people. It's so sad. And some people fall for it. And you know, because they trust their system, they trust their government, what have you, but they don't understand how they work. Like, I know for a fact the ATO, which is the Australian Tax Office, would never ever ring. They don't. They do not ring. You always get a letter. They never ring. And so to get a phone call about it, you're just like, yeah, bye. So yeah, it is insane. It's insane. Yeah. All right, my lovelies, I'm going to scoot. I will catch you all next week. Next Thursday, Abby will be back at school. Oh, John says IRS doesn't call either. You get a certified letter. Yeah, so I'm totally like hyped that Abby goes back to school next week. So yeah, all right. You all have a fantastic week. I hope that we can work out some sort of craft planning thing that's not too labor intensive, but helps me to get my head around it. And I now have 3 face washes. So I'll have to put a photo up on Instagram that we've got an extra one. And then we have a little set now. And yeah, we'll go from there. I've still got enough in here probably for one more, maybe. I'll see you all later. You be good or good at it. See yous.